This is the Business of Apps podcast, bringing you actionable insights from the leaders of the global app industry and the world's fastest growing apps. You can find more app news, data, and analysis over at businessofapps.com.
Welcome to the Business of Apps podcast. On this show, we invite app industry professionals to cover various topics. We promise to do our best to keep it both insightful but brief. In this episode, we have Jeff Grang, co-founder and CPO at Purchasely. Jeff, welcome to the Business of Apps podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Terrific. Thank you for coming. All right. Apple launched subscriptions on the App Store back in February 2011. 11 years ago, actually more than 11. Today, when you think about what apps powered by this business model, it's obvious that it's way more than paying to stream media content on a monthly basis. It's about gaming, fitness and health, photography, education, and much more. The reason why Apple introduced this model was to give app developers a new way to generate revenue. Its introduction took place right after Apple launched the daily app for News Corp, and this saw an opportunity for app developers on the platform to make money this new way. By the way, the idea was daily app didn't go very well. If I remember correctly, it was shut down like a year after. But still, app subscriptions stayed and thrive today. It made absolute sense to give developers an alternative to solely be focused on acquiring more and more users for the apps to power business. So now they could financially support their app business on a monthly basis with existing customers. It'd be more financially secure to grow their app user base. Today, we're talking with Jeff about how to sustain your app subscription revenue via improving your app subscription funnels. But first, Jeff, let's start with talking about you a bit. Tell us about yourself, please.
Yeah, this reminds me a lot of things about whole we've been through since the very beginning of the app stores. And I was in this very beginning as I was among the first 500 beta testers of iOS 2 and the iPhone SDK back in that time. Yeah, I released an app I think like 11 days after the App Store opening in end of July, beginning of August 2008. So that was a long time ago. And at that time, we only had one business model, which was free or paid apps with no subscription, etc. So you're totally true on everything you've said, like more sustainable revenue streams for app developers and independent, especially as the number of users was not growing as fast as in the very early days of the App Store. I was also in seeing all these evolutions, etc. I developed apps since day one. I also helped a lot of companies develop their apps, a lot of startups, but also settled companies. I had like 8 App of the Year awards by Apple, and during all that journey, developing 50 apps, I think, something like that. I really felt like we had a pain in the apps with these subscriptions, implementing them, getting the most out of them. And what I saw is that a lot of people were just doing the minimum required features, but couldn't like leverage all the what the subscription and the in-app purchases had to offer. And that's why in 2019 with my 2 associates, we started Purchasely, and we started like really selling this product 18 months ago. And we now have several hundred customers, several hundred apps in I think more than 20 countries right now for our customers. So it's something that is really top of mind for a lot of people around the globe. And we are really trying to help our customers on that journey.
Yeah, you know what? My impression is that platforms for developers, the best ones, are done by developers themselves who had the previous experience of developing apps on their own. They know their pain points. They know exactly what things should be fixed. So that's like the perfect background for launching your own service. And then you're not like you can basically save a little bit on research because your basic premise for the platform you're launching is your own experience. So yeah, and that's impressive. If you launched the apps back in the day in 2008, I don't think I had an iPhone back then because I got my iPhone a couple of years later.
I started with an iPod Touch actually.
Yeah,
'Cause,
iPod Touch,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
16
because
gig
you couldn't
model.
purchase the original iPhone everywhere and make it work, etc. You had to jailbreak it, etc. So, but I started with an iPod Touch as a developer because I was young and didn't have any money to pay for the original iPhone back in the days, especially the carrier plan that goes with it. But
Exactly.
that's true. And what we are today, you said you're doing a developer tool, etc. But we are more a marketing tool because when it comes to subscription, originally implementing and doing all the plumbing is something. But when you've implemented that version, this is where the marketing starts playing with it, and they need a lot of tools to launch their campaign, etc. And this is really where we are bringing value. So our core persona at Purchasely is really marketers and product managers.
Gotcha. So you're covering the marketing side for people to be focused on development. Okay, app subscription model. Let's give a definition for funnel. App subscription funnel. What is it?
Yeah, so a funnel is basically all the steps that makes a user actually subscribe and become the most profitable as possible for you. Basically, the funnel illustrates the idea that every sale begins with a large number of potential customers and ends up with a much smaller number of people because you're losing people at every step. Of course, the subscription funnel and the app subscription funnel depends on your app. If you have a hard paywall, if you have a trial, etc. But basically, it starts with an install. Then someone views your paywall, starts your trial, will convert to your trial, renews 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, etc. So you know that you will be losing some people at every step. And this is what an app subscription funnel is. It's important to know all these steps because you'll be able to measure efficiently and compare yourself to other people in your market and other people globally, and know where to improve and where you are underperforming, so that you can increase your revenues based on subscriptions.
Right. So app subscription funnel, the funnel itself, it's a concept that should be familiar to people. Pretty much every business on the planet, like any brick and mortar business, know there's a difference between people who are passing by their store, coming in, ask a question, buy something, and getting back next morning to buy the same stuff. It's just way more complicated when it's about online, about mobile, and about app subscription model. When you do want to keep the whole premise of app subscription alive, because it was promised as the way to sustain your business financially when you can just rely on some income that is coming in your account on a monthly basis from your active user base and work on increasing this user base of your app. So the improving your funnel is to making sure that app subscription model is working for your business. So let's walk through the funnel, so to speak, and explain the every step, starting with the first one, introducing people to the paywall you have in your subscription app. So conceptually, what people need to understand about this step?
Yeah, that's I really like to say that the subscription starts even before that paywall. It's when you'll be on the App Store page, etc. The promise and the inception of you having a subscription model, showing your value, etc. It all starts with your first ad, then with the subscription, with your App Store page, and then with your paywall. But when it comes to paywall, what is interesting to see is that we have a lot of our own customers at Purchasely that have 80% of their subscribers come from the day zero experience. So it's very important to, from the first paywall that you will be showing to your customers, to raise the awareness on your business model, to explain your value, to demonstrate that value, to reinsure your users, but also to let your user test your subscription so that they don't they won't fear of subscribing to something they haven't experienced yet. And that first experience is really important because, as I said, it's 80% of some of our customers that are subscribing they come from day zero. But you also have all these other users that will be subscribing later on. And as it's really important to be really generic in this first experience of paywall, when you have users that will be coming back, etc., and you're trying to convert them, it's really important to get more specific, to get the most out of the knowledge that you have from your customers, from your CRM, to personalize that paying experience to that audience, to a specific navigation, to where the user is actually in the app, what he has experienced before, what he's looking for right now. So it's important to like narrow from something very generic to very specific in your paywall experience, and target your customers with specific paywalls.
Exactly. So psychologically, think about it. When you're trying to convince somebody to give up, a certain amount of his money for the product, for the app once, that's one thing. But we're talking about, the frame when people will be paying you on a monthly basis. When they open up their Netflix app, people who are paying for their subscription, they're not asking any questions. They love the content so much. The trust was built months ago, so everything works smoothly. So that's your goal. You should explain people on the first step once they encounter a paywall that there's a value in the app, and there is a specific reason why they need to pay this monthly subscription. It will make sense for them. It will be advantageous for them, not only for you as the app developer.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Exactly.
So trials in mobile apps. What's important for app marketers to know about these?
Just as what you were saying right now was really interesting, and it's trial really is an outcome of that. Everybody is not Netflix. I mean, you need to build the trust. People need to try you out or to know a little bit more. And sometimes a trial is a great idea to fight for the fear of the subscription trap. You will have some people that will be reluctant to subscribe, and offering a trial will let them make the move, make a try, give it a try, and so that's really important, because people need to be reassured by the quality of your service, but also by the fact that they won't be trapped later on. But a few things to know about the trial is that it works in most cases. There are some few cases in which it doesn't work. You won't see a lot of dating apps with a trial, because just when you will be unlocking the subscription, you'll have access to all the profiles that liked you in the past, etc. And the value really doesn't last that long. So that's not a model in which the trial is interesting. If you're not in that case, the first question that our customers ask, and that they try and A/B test with our solution, is the trial length. Because they are wondering, how much time should I make a trial? Should it last like 3 days, 1 week, 2 months, etc. If you are if you're asking that question for yourself, the best answer is, how long do you think it will take for someone to discover your product enough to want to subscribe to it? What's the basic journey? What are the different steps you want your user to pass through that will make him a good potential subscriber? So it needs, first of all, to know by your CRM, your analytics, which steps are all these high fidelity customers that you have, subscribers that you have passing by. And you need to make your users go through these steps during the trial frame. So it really depends of the type of application. Apple has released a great study on a different category and how long the basic trial is, how long it is based in each different countries or continent, etc. So it's really interesting to have a look at it. It's on their website. And basically it all comes up to, in the end, it's all, your trial length must match the discovery time necessary for building high fidelity users.
Exactly. The whole concept of a trial period, obviously predated mobile. We used to get every piece of software you can think of, the popular one had a trial period, so you can make up your mind. Does it work for you? Could be any app for business, for leisure. It's just right now it's important for app subscription, because some people are easy to make a decision, like they can instantaneously see the value in the app. They don't need that period of discoverability. They're okay. Just they may be at the easiest probably audience you can deal with. Other people need more time to study the app more. It's just maybe the way they use the app is a little bit different than the first bucket I've just described. So they need that time frame, which Jeff is describing for you. You may check out your competitors, the ones that are on the top of the popularity. If their trial period still there with that length, it's obviously working for them and they're not changing it. So you may use it as a guidelines, but again, you have to think through yourself for your product first. Just use your competitors kind of a general guidance, like probably the limits, within which you have to decide how many days exactly that period will be for your app, right?
Yeah, you could also choose to like toggle on and off that trial period, or offer the trial only in some cases, so that you create that fear of missing out by the user. And this is also that can also be used in such a way.
Right. Now, the biggest challenge for app marketers, which I bring up on this show over and over, retention. What retention rates app marketers should expect on average these days, and what can be done to increase it? Like this is the battle for retaining people you're acquiring, for making sense of money you're spending on marketing, and actually making these people stay with your app, not leaving you. Like obviously they will be leaving it. It's just the pipe dream to make sure that 100% of your app users are with you months and months down the road. It's impossible, but there's always steps you can do to minimize those losses, right?
Yeah, for sure. And what's the first retention step is the one that comes from somebody doing a trial to converting to a paid customer. And what for the premium apps, what we believe is a good number from trial to paid is 60%. 60% is a good conversion rate to paid on the that you could expect. So if you have something around that, you shouldn't hurry to try to improve that, because there might be other ways and other leaks that you'd like to plug before. Then you have the paid to 1 year retention. Really depends on the type of plan, because we're discussing only about monthly plans from the beginning, but of course between the monthly and the yearly there's a huge difference, because on a monthly plan you have 12 opportunities to churn in a year, and for the monthly plan, if you are around 10-15% of retention, so at the end of 1 year, it's kind of a good number. And on a yearly plan, you could expect 40%. So what that means is that it's really important to try to make people subscribe to a yearly plan, or 6 months or whatever, because you're gonna keep them longer. And so besides this number, you have a lot of things that you could try to improve these numbers, and even do better than the numbers that I gave, which are average of top performers. First of all, you can try to make people subscribe not to a monthly, but to 3 months, especially when there's a urge for subscription. If you're working in education, you know that it's a business in which people are subscribing at certain period of the year, and you want to make sure that these guys, if they are in a urge to subscribe because they need the content, you don't want them to subscribe to just a monthly, but maybe a 3 months, because you get them longer than that, and you have the chance to explain them after the urge what you provide, and not just for the golden pass that they came for. Mm-hmm. The other thing is that you want to upsell users. There are actually very few applications that when you're subscribed to a monthly plan and you're active on that monthly plan, will offer you to turn it to a yearly plan, for example. But it's a good way of keeping your users longer. And as you might know, I'm sure you know, the commission from Apple drops from 30% to 15% after a year. So you can even offer that discount for free, upselling your users is also a great way of retaining them, especially focusing on your CRM of active users, happy users, and offer them the discount of maybe 20% if they subscribe to a monthly plan, because you saw that they were active on the subscription. Yeah. And well, of course, there are a few things that don't rely only on your subscription strategy, like creating continuous value, understanding why people actually leave your app, why they churn, and improve the reason why they and try to fix the reason why they churn. It's too expensive. You have a new competitor. It's maybe didn't bring any value or whatever. And so yeah, this is basically the things. And now, oh yeah, I almost forgot one. There's one that is actually the easiest one to set up. It's like a 15-minute setup for our users purchase list, like involuntary churn. There's a lot of people that will churn just because their credit card expired, you know. Of course, the stores will handle some notifications, etc. But if you do your job, if you do your part, you can reduce by 30% that involuntary churn, which can represent a lot of money at the end of the day, you know, especially because it's very simple to fix. You can like send the event to your CRM or emailing tool in real time that will trigger like a message and say, okay, you're gonna lose your subscription in a few days to fix your credit card. Click here. And for most of our customers, we have between 20 and 33% of recovery that we wouldn't have otherwise if we hadn't made that small, like 15-minute automation between purchase day and your marketing tool. So it's really something that you can build with each of the stores that will really pay off very quickly.
Exactly. That's actually a small but very important point. You may see these emails from, I don't know, Netflix or even Apple, where it says there's a problem with your card, and that email does not come to you on the end of the month. It's a couple of weeks in advance. It gives you a time frame to fix the problem with the card, replace it, update. Basically, just kind of a common sense. All people are, living their busy lives. They may be not aware that there's a problem with the card. It would be really, I don't want to, for lack of a better term, bummer to lose people because of a problem with the card. It's not their fault. It's not your fault. It's just stupid credit card invalidity. You can fix that. Okay, what would be takeaways for the app developers of the ways they can improve their app subscription funnel?
Yeah, first of all, you cannot improve your funnel if you don't measure. So you need to measure everything. You need to track everything and have consistent metrics for all your funnels at every step. Once you've done that, what you will be able to do is like to test and improve each of these steps and, trying to improve for everyone. Trying to improve the funnel for everyone. And once you've done a great job for everyone, you'll try to find the underperformers and try to move them to top performers, like doing an approach from very generic to very specific approach for specific users, and then you can play with a lot of different variables. It can be priced, localhost priced, can be also like playing with the trial, with the package composition. And you need to A/B test everything, because the recipe that might be working for your competitors won't be working for you, because you're not perceived in the same way as your competitors, because your brand is maybe more powerful. And so you need to test everything. You need to test even like increasing the price, because we are always looking at reducing the price, but increasing the price might make a difference. Changing the trial, do time limited offers. There's a lot of things to try. It's a full-time job. It's more than a full-time job for like top performers in subscription. They have full teams working on these specific hacks, and try to do that, measure that, try to be efficient in testing also, and measure everything. And you'll gain like 50. You can, in the very beginning, you can easily like have a 50% better conversion rate when you're starter. You can, and then you'll be improving like small percentage when you become bigger, but these small percentages on 100,000 of subscribers also make a huge difference. So it's really putting yourself in a mindset of testing, in a mindset of a growth hacker, and also develop all the tools and build all the tools, or use all the tools that will help you being efficient in that job.
Great, Jay. These are great points for developers to keep in mind and fight for app users for their app subscription app. Now, I think throughout the years in the app industry, you might have something about app marketing, that you really would like to change? Is there something, or was there something like that for you?
Well, this is basically what made me create Purchasely, because as a developer, I was always asked to make these A/B tests, etc., to test different pricing models, and changing a paywall is really stressful for a developer because you don't want to break anything. And this is really the reason why. And when you spend like a lot of time and sweat, tears, and bloods on a paywall, and that months after the marketer tells you, okay, that paywall didn't convert, you can drop it, you want to cry, you know. So that was the main thing that I wanted to fix in the app marketing industry, and this is what we provide today. But I really feel that we came to a point in app marketing where there's a lot of maturity. There's a lot of tools interconnected all together. Can be the app revenue tools like Purchasely, but also like the CRM, the attribution, analytics, etc. And I think that in the end, there's something huge that's gonna be that's gonna aggregate all this. It can be a usage or a tool, but there's so many things to gain just by using and leveraging all these tools working together. So this interconnection between the tools is something that I believe will be big, especially for providing more tailored experiences for the users, having a better understanding of the users, a better, a more personalized way of addressing the users in its product journey, but also in its marketing journey. I'm sure that there is almost no missing pieces, but just a better usage of all the resources that app marketers and app developers have right now in their hands.
Gotcha, Jeff. All right. That was the first part of the show, but we have the second one, which is kind of a personal. That's my chance to ask a few cool questions to every guest. So people who listen to the show have a good chance to know them a little bit better. Here we go. So what smartphone do you have now? Have you been switching between these two mega giants, Android, iOS, or, staying one side all the time?
So I have an iPhone 12. I try to keep my smartphone 3 to 4 years. It's really depends on me dropping it, which is the reason why I left my iPhone 10 a year before expected, and also the battery length. So
Right.
and this is more for ecological concerns. I try to keep 3 to 4 years for my smartphone for ecological concerns.
So iOS all the time, never.
iOS all the
Yeah.
time. Actually, yeah.
Never look the other way. Okay.
I have Android test smartphones, but
For work.
it's really a matter of habits.
Gotcha. Okay. Your first mobile phone before an iPhone, came to existence into this world. What was that phone?
Yeah, I'm old enough to have had a smartphone before had a phone before the smartphones, and I think it was an Alcatel, maybe a One Touch or something like that. I remember a small button like to navigate in small menus. It had a color screen, and the button was broken after a few months. They had like huge issues with this. It was an Alcatel and then a Nokia.
Gotcha. Recently I calculated what would be the time frame where my guests on this podcast will not be able to remember mobile phone before smartphone. So there are a couple more years at least to wait for that point. Right now, given the age of my guest. Yeah, we're not that old, but we're old enough to have a phone in our pocket before an iPhone, before an Android phone. Mm-hmm. Okay, back to present. Let's say you left your phone at home. What will be missing for you? What feature will be missing for you when you're out?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say the rain prediction, because I ride a lot. I do everything by bike, on my bike. I live in Paris, so we have rain pretty often. So leaving before the rain or knowing when the rain will stop is something that is really important to me. And all these rain notifications, it's gonna rain in 30 minutes, which gets me just the time to get home before the rain is really something that I look for on every day. at least twice a day, and I would be like missing it a lot. Otherwise, well, I got everything on on my computer, so I can do my daily job if I lose my smartphone. But this one is trickier because I don't get the notifications on my Mac.
Right. So, yeah, notifications about weather. Whenever I see that notification on my phone, that memory from the Back in the Future movie comes into my mind when the dog was saying, Marty, Marty, the rain will start in 20 minutes. That's impressive how the forecast great in the future. So the future is
That's
now.
my favorite movie,
The
and
future is now.
yeah, the future is now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you can even see the cloud, and it's very precise. I got that Rain Today application. It's amazing how precise they are for the clouds and hours, etc. So it's not like days in advance, but it's just perfect for usage of taking a bike.
Oh, great. Now, probably, we're always looking for something like the way to improve things. Is there anything in your iPhone 12, just conceptually, not less or more, but just, as a concept of hardware, software, probably both, that would be great for that thing to be able to do, like longer, better life or something? Is there something for you like that?
For something in the future, for something right now.
Yes, like when you looking at your phone and thinking, wouldn't it be great if my phone can do this or that, or do it better, like any feature that is missing?
I think I domesticated my iPhone pretty much. It was a hard job, but I think I can still improve on that. Basically, on the focus, especially handling the focus mode and doing it right. So right now, just before that call, we all put it our focus mode on the Mac and on the smartphone, etc. And I really took me a lot of time to make it like tailor made with all the applications, etc. Like what is work, what is leisure, what is personal, etc. Which kind of notification that I do want to have and do not have during the day, etc. So it took me quite a lot of time. I think that could be improved with default settings, or maybe onboarding, specific onboarding. And this is really something that changed my day because I'm really much more focused right now doing my job, and I'm also less disturbed when I'm with my kids or in my personal day. And it's something I think that Apple could really push, and also Apple and Google. And also one other thing is I believe the awareness on the app privacy and data privacy. They started something with Safari telling you which trackers, etc. But I think I'd like to know more on all these apps and maybe be able to track down and also reduce the amount of personal data that I spread on all these apps is something that I would like to have, even if that will be trickier to have a personalized experience, as I was saying in the app. But I think having control of that is something that is really important to me in the future, and for my kids that will eventually get smartphones at some point.
Yeah, I'm fine with you on all these points. I love my focus mode throughout the week, and yeah, it would be great if I can adjust, customize them for me a little bit more efficient, a little bit quicker, and being able to a little bit more flexibility here, because it's a great feature, but I can still see there's a room for improvement, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Before I let you go, very final question. How can people get in touch with you and get more information about what you do?
So they can find me on LinkedIn. I accept every connection, and especially if they tell that they come from that podcast. We also have a purchasely.com with a blog on which we write pretty often. The Subscription League also, which is a podcast in which we invite some great subscription app developers where they share their specific insights on their specific markets, which is really interesting. And you get a chance to see me in a lot of events, the App Promotion Summit and some other events throughout the globe. And we were in Berlin, San Francisco, London. We'll be in New York next year. In a lot of different places, and of course you can also find me on Twitter on JF Grang, and that's pretty much about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeff, for spending time with us, coming on the show. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
And that was Jeff Grang, co-founder and CPO at Purchasely. To listen to more episodes, subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts. Just search for Business of Apps and you will find us easily. Remember, we release episodes on Mondays, so subscribe and you'll be able to get new episodes on your smartphone, tablet, or computer as soon as we release them. And please don't forget to leave us a review or comment on iTunes. It is highly appreciated. And all episodes will also be available on businessofapps.com. Thank you for listening. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Business of Apps podcast. For more, head on over to businessofapps.com.